Hey everyone, this is Dr. Josh Hant here for Lifestyle Locker Radio. This is episode 218, and this is what we're going to call a Lifestyle Locker short. I'm going to probably start to throw these in from time to time just to reflect on my day, my week, my month, whatever I may be thinking about the time that deals with life and lifestyle and reflection. So if you hear some barking or toe tapping, that's my dog Gunner here. I'm actually, believe it or not, recording this on my new iPhone. One is a test, and two, because I just did about 10 hours of continuing education. Sitting on my rear end, yes, I got up and moved up and down a bunch. I also got a chance to probably eat a little more than I should have. And I, believe it or not, did stay awake for the whole 10 hours. But I want to reflect, I did a run this week. I just started getting back on the trails again. Been doing a lot of walking after my 100, a lot of eating. And I've probably had a good handful of runs in since, but I just had this feeling midweek this week thinking, man, I just want to get out there and run trails. And yeah, I mean, it was so awesome. I went to one of my favorite spots, which is about a 6.5 mile between 1,800 to 1,900 feet of vertical gain. For those of you that can't really connect with that, if you live, somewhere like Florida where things are flat, it's 1,900 feet is probably close to 2 times up the Empire State Building or somewhere around there. And I love climbing. I love the challenge. It was a little chilly out, and that's a hard spot for me. I hate running in the cold, but I love moving and love the challenge, and I'm learning to love the cold again after a nice summer of being able to run outdoors a lot. So I did this run this week. I did it on Friday, and this whole week I've been doing what we call our 30-65 lifestyle shift program. We've been doing like just a 1 week, post away, let's share movement every day of the week after Thanksgiving weekend, and let's just move. So I go ahead, I do this run. I feel great. I mean, I'm sweating like crazy, but I really had an amazing time. I really enjoyed it. And I go to look at my Strava. I go to sync my Garmin to my phone, and I find out that it says you hit your yearly running target. So I said, I don't even remember what I put as my running target back last year. And I put that I want to run 1,000 miles. And it's funny how things work out, but I finished my run. I checked that on Strava. It said you hit your goal, and it was 1,005 miles for 2020 that I ran, not including my walking that I do almost every day that I track with my dog, which is usually 1 to 4 or 5 miles or more a day, depending on the day, not including that. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's neat that when you put things down, that things can start to manifest in your life. And I mean, this was really cool for me. This year, 2020, the end of 2019, 2020, I had a failed attempt at a 100-mile event where I sprained my left knee, sprained my lateral collateral ligament, had an MRI, so that I had meniscus tears, which we don't know if were old or new. It was hard to determine that, being that I already had ruptured my meniscus, my medial meniscus on the right side, and had surgery on that one. That one was completely ruptured, so disconnected from the bone. But I had a hard end of 2019. I didn't really set any mileage goals, but I wanted to complete the 100, which I did not. So obviously, fast forward, know that I've ran multiple 50s. I've ran a 50-miler with, 4 or 5 days of training over the summer. Ran another one about, I don't know how many weeks, maybe 6 weeks later or less. And then I ended up crushing the 100-miler that I did. And that 100-miler, as many of you listened to the Race to 100, which we did, I did it in 22 hours and 37 minutes. I think it put me in 24th place, if I remember correctly. I got really two really cool belt buckles to finish with. But so when I set these targets, I set it for 1,000 miles, thinking, it's an average of, 20 miles a week or something like that. which shouldn't be really too hard to hit if you think about it. If you just walk 2 miles a day every single day of the year, walking alone, you're gonna get close to that 1,000-mile mark, right? Just think about that. So, after finishing my 100, when I took some time off, I did. In November, I believe my first 100 attempt was I broke toes, sprained my knee, so I had to have some healing time. What else have I done? I think last winter in the beginning of 2020, I fell in the woods, busted my finger up, which is still a little crooked at this point and swollen looking. I don't know. So just to go back to manifestation, setting this goal for 1,000 miles to run was lofty. I think I actually remember now, I was running my first race of 2020 with my friend Tom. I believe the race was called the Naked Bavarian. It was in Pennsylvania. It was a 20-miler, and it was like maybe 9 degrees if we were lucky, and it was freaking cold. But I think I remember we were talking about our mileage goals for the year, and we said, I want to hit 1,000. Like that's a big one, hefty one. And I completed this, and I got to thinking, wow, when you set something into motion, right? When you put it on paper, I put it on a digital device, and then I trained hard and kept on going and trained and got injured and trained and run and trained and all of these things. And then COVID and more running and more running and more running. I hit this goal and realizing that I had taken weeks off of running, maybe even months at this point this year, and I still hit the 1,000-mile goal. So how much did I have in my tank? How much more do I have in my tank for the rest of the year? I'm not trying to crush, get the 1,500 by the next few weeks here. Believe me, that's not going to happen. But I really was thinking, like, holy cow, if I hit 1,000 and I took so much time off, what's the potential? And when I think about just my running potential, let alone my business or my podcast that you're all listening to, or relationship goals, like what we want to do, maybe travel or date nights or whatever it may be, I really think that when you put stuff down and you start to really focus on the events that go along with that goal. So for me, the 1,000-mile goal, I had lots of little events set up throughout the year and some unexpected events pop up that I did. But by shooting to do well during those events and finishing and completing them, training had to happen. So I had these little itty-bitty targets which started leapfrogging me towards my goal, and it worked out really, really cool. So when I think about my business life, when I think about all these different areas, I think, wow, just the beginnings of that manifestation process is so, so powerful. And, it's the end of the year. We're going to do a goal setting meeting with our practice, our team. I'm going to sit and hopefully do a goal setting day or night over a bottle of wine with my wife, or maybe a couple nights. And me personally, what I started to do the end of this year, I have Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles, and what I did, I actually bought the audio too, and I took a notebook out and I started actually going through it. Being that I've been through it before without taking so many of the action steps, I didn't get so far, we'll say. My life definitely has been better, but I think it can be a lot more abundant in all different areas. So got the Jack Canfield book out, got the audio book out, my notebook, and actually started going to town, reading and writing and listening all at the same time. And wow, it feels really good to put stuff on paper and to write these things out, write these goals out, these targets out. So I would urge all of you, maybe see where you are at the end of this year. 2020 was hard for so many. Some people had very abundant 2020s. I can't say personally that I had a very abundant 2020. It was quite the opposite. And the way the environment of the world hit our practice in New York City, very challenging. But that doesn't mean we're quitting. That doesn't mean we're over. That doesn't mean I'm done. That means I need to recalibrate and make 2021 better, bigger, more successful for me, but that usually means having to bring a lot of people along for that ride. So I urge all of you to check out Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles, any Tony Robbins books, all of these different types of books that can help inspire you. I don't want you to get motivated necessarily, because the quote, motivation is like, a shower. You got to do it daily. So I hope you get inspired so you personally can self-motivate yourself to keep going forward and keep charging forward in all different areas of your life. So that's the short for the day. Have an awesome day, evening, or night from wherever and whenever you're listening. And I do want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by the 3065 Lifestyle Shift Program. You've heard me say it before. Go ahead and check it out in the show notes. Click the link, get some details. Enjoy. If you have questions, just shoot me a message here on social. You have all the links there as well to connect with me. So have an awesome day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.